a brief video presentation on GDP techniques. You will then work together to complete the provided worksheets. Finally, you will complete a short knowledge check. The knowledge check will include recording your initial and date, making corrections, recording time, verifying a calculation, crossing out unused portions of a document, and rounding. The objectives for this program are to describe some common errors, describe the verification process and real-time data capture, describe how to make corrections both with and without footnotes, describe how to properly close blank spaces on paperwork, describe the proper format for a date, describe the proper format for time, describe how to properly write decimal numbers and integers clearly, describe how to round to a specified number of decimal places. There were some common errors that led to this training being developed. They included miswritten data, beginning the work on an incorrect page, write-overs, incorrectly written dates and times, and sometimes, you miswrite your own initials and or your name, because trust me, it happens. Verification process and real-time data capture. All data verification must be done in real time. What this means for the person taking down the data. Data is recorded as it is collected. No backdating and no pre-recording data. What this means for the person doing the verification, it means that you are signing that all data is accurate and true. Do not sign for something you did not witness. Perform all calculations yourself to check for accuracy. Because you will make an error, because we're all human, you need to know how to correct it. Use a single line to mark out incorrect information or write-overs. If there is sufficient room, meaning enough space to clearly write the needed information, you will initial, date at the site of the mistake and write the correct information in the same space. If there's not sufficient room to clearly record all this, use a footnote. But in no case, ever, should you scribble over original data. This is called data obliteration and is considered falsifying documentation. This is what it looks like when there is sufficient room to clearly indicate the initials, the date, and the correction. Please note that the original miswritten information is lined out. The correct information is written near it, along with the person's initials and the date. Please note that the date, anytime you write it for a correction, is the day you put pen to paper. However, if there is not sufficient room to write all this in the same space, that's when you write a footnote. You will still begin by using a single line to cross out the incorrect information. Use numbers only for footnotes. No smiley faces, no asterisks, no arrows, no dotted lines, numbers only. You will then write that same number at the bottom of the page. I need to be able to know 3 things when you write a footnote or make any correction. Who wrote it, meaning the operator initials. when they wrote it, meaning the day you are putting pen to paper, and what the correct information is. Who, when, what. The order of these three things is not important. Their presence is. Double check what number you are going to use before you write it. Your teammate may have needed to use a footnote before you. If you make the same correction in multiple spots, for example, you wrote the date wrong 5 times, it is allowable to use the same number footnote for all the spots. However, bear in mind, the who, the what, the when all have to be the same. Always use the current date. Whatever the date of the day is you are putting to pen to paper, use that date. Please note that in some cases where the date itself was miswritten, your when and your what may indeed be the same date. However, that date still has to be written twice. You need to know how to cross out blank spaces on a document. You are going to try to use as few lines as possible so that there are fewer chances for errors. When crossing out a blank space, you want to go corner to corner. Sometimes it is necessary to use multiple lines. As in this example, notice that one line will not suffice for all the blank space. Because if I started in the very bottom left and went to the very top right, I would invalidate all of the data. For each line, you are going to write NA, your initials, and the date. In this case, the what is the NA, so you still have the format who, when, what. Now, what does writing your time look like? I need 2 digits for hour and 2 digits for minute. When using AM, PM, be sure to include the colon. For example, 1 a.m. is 01:00. 10:30 p.m. is 10:30. However, some departments use military time. For example, 1 a.m. is 0100. 10:30 p.m. is 22:30. No colons nor AM PM designation are required. For the date, the proper format is 2 digits for month, 2 digits for day, and 2 digits for year. Please note that it is also permissible to use 4 digits for the year. Examples include 11/22/33 or 01/02/03. In either case, use that leading 0 if you need to use a number less than 9. 9 or less. Dashes and slashes are acceptable. Now let's look at rounding. You are going to write the numbers out and stop before you write the number in question. And then you are going to look at the number to the immediate right of it. If that number to the immediate right is 5 or greater, the number in question is going to go up. If that number to the right is less than 5, then you're going to let it rest. For example, 5.0235 rounded to 3 decimal places is 5.024. 5.0236, rounded to 3 decimal places, is 5.024. Because in the first two examples, the number to the right of the number you are in questioning is 5 or greater, so you're going to let the digit in question go up. However, in this last example, the number to the right of the digit in question is less than 5. So I'm going to let that digit in question rest. 5.0233, rounded to 3 decimal places, because remember, less than 5, let it rest, is 5.023. Never leave a decimal hanging. They like company on the other side of them. In other words, never write just 0.1234. It's too easy to change, and it might be mistaken for 1,234, or changed easily, whether by intention or not, to 1.1234. Add that leading zero, and it's unmistakable and cannot be changed. Some final notes on good documentation practice. Use only the company-provided blue or black ink pens. No gel pens and no pens with caps. And perhaps most importantly, if you ever have any questions about what to write, before you put pen to paper, ask the question. We appreciate questions. Ask your teammate, ask your lead, ask QA, ask anybody until you get an answer that you understand.